I've been checking my antibodies and they've been positive.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, just had them done. I actually checked in April and I was positive for IgM and IgG.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor said, well, you could have been possibly reinfected. I was obviously asymptomatic. I went ahead and ordered the T-Detect test, and
Mm-hmm.
I just got the results today, and it
Okay.
says negative, but I
Negative.
still have antibodies for IgG positive,
Okay.
so I can't figure that out.
Well, the most of the commercially available antibody screens are that they're just screens. They're not
Hmm.
diagnostic of anything. You can pretty much rest assured you have a reasonably broad antibody immunity. But you must not have heard the conversation I just had with Dr. Monica Gandhi, who's an infectious disease specialist, and she said that the T cell, the memory response, and the T cell directed response is so robust that we shouldn't be too focused on the antibodies right now.
Okay, I
Okay.
was just wondering though because I did T-Detect and that came back negative though. I just did that test
What is
through
T
T-Detect.
detect? Let me see what that is.
T-Detect is a few doctors. I think Dr. Kelly Victory
Uh,
has talked about it,
uh-huh.
and they test your T cell immunity
I
by
see.
just taking some lab. Yeah, and that was negative. But
Huh.
so it's kind of puzzling me. Like, why do I still have the
I'm
IgG
looking at that.
antibodies?
It's interesting. I don't know quite what they're. Well, you've alerted me to something I've got to learn something about. I knew there was. I knew there were people
We have to have
trying to
Dr.
do this.
KV on. I can't say her name
Yeah,
on
we're not allowed to
YouTube.
say her name
Oh,
out loud.
sorry. I hope I
Uh,
okay. We're
We
not
but
on
just
YouTube.
turned. We just brought back our YouTubers. Hi everybody, welcome back.
this is a fascinating product. I'm going to send this to some people I know that are really up there in the immunology field and see if
Okay.
this is meaningful. My bet is it's more the test than you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It just again we testing right now. If you noticed what the I think it's the some organization is stepping forward. I don't know if it's the CDC, I forget, and trying to standardize all this testing. We have all this kinds of different kinds of testing going on, and there's no real standardization. As yet, we don't know really what the tests mean because they've not been
Mhm.
sort of compiled and collated. We can sort of inferentially know what they mean,
Mhm.
and my guess is that the T detect just gives you a yes no sort of answer. You have T cells or you don't.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I bet the reliability of that is not that great. It doesn't
Yeah.
make that much sense to me. And that maybe there's a time course we don't know about yet. But I'm
Yeah.
so glad you brought this up to me because I will look into this.
Yeah, it was puzzling to me because I was, excited, to get this test just to see since I've had this, antibodies for almost a year now,
Yeah.
What about
and
the Adotix score?
I
It,
can't get that, Susan. I tried. I've been following Dr. Drew and you guys talking about that. It's not in my area. I live
Oh,
in Virginia.
oh, oh, oh.
you have such specific. I'm not sure I would have you even get it because you really want
Yeah.
some answers, and I'm not sure that can give you answers, right? And
Hmm.
and when you do a test, exactly what has happened to you is exactly why I wouldn't recommend you do it, because
Okay.
I'm not sure I'd be able to give you. We know you have all this robust immunity that's persistent.
Hmm.
That's probably good enough. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
start adding more information, I'm not sure what I'm going to be telling you, and that worries me. Whenever you do a test and you don't know why you're doing it or how you're going to interpret it, it's really problematic. So I just be very careful with this stuff. So I'm sending an email right now,
Great. Thank you so much.
and,
I
and
appreciate
I'm
it.
asking, is this a good screening test, and what does it show? Which is what I'm concerned about for you. You really don't even know what
Hmm.
it shows. All right, that's going off to a guy I trust. So keep
Okay.
watching. I'll maybe, I don't know where I would be posting that. It's send me a little email. Susan, look out for this at contact@drdrew.com, and I'll try to get you that info. Okay?
Contact at
Yeah.
drdrew.com. Okay.
All right.
From who?
All right.
From Tanya Williams, right?
Tanya Williams.
Okay. Yep. We'll look for that. All right, excellent. And then someone cool is on the. Are you a cool guy? Someone cool?
No, not exactly.
Okay, well you are someone cool, nevertheless. So what's up?
Yeah, I'm curious what your opinion is on and why we don't seem to be talking about Covaxin.
Covaxin. Now, what is that? Now you have
Covaxin is the non-mRNA vaccine that's being used in India.
Oh.
And it's not only effective
Where's it made?
against all the, but it's also
China?
it's better effective against the variants than any of the ones that we currently have. And it's infuriating me that we don't have access to this.
It's an indigenous. Is it because they've not applied for it here, and they're just
tried
using
to
it?
apply for the EUA, but they were later than all the other companies, so they were denied and forced to do full FDA authorization.
I see, and that's very expensive. Very expensive.
So they're going through that process. They've gotten EUA in Canada. They've gotten it in Hungary.
And what is it? A protein?
Is it made in Russia? Where is it from?
No, it's from India.
It's from India, and it's not quite as effective against like the alpha variants, but against the delta variant, it's more effective than anything else.
Well, they haven't vaccinated Sri Lanka yet, so maybe they're going there first.
But it just seems like nobody's talking about it, and I think that if we could get the word out there, that
okay, so I'm looking at this.
Putting some pressure on it.
I'm with you for more vaccine options. I'm 100% with you now. This looks more like Johnson & Johnson, right?
Yeah, it's a traditional vaccine.
It's a whole virus.
mRNA. Yeah, it's everything that I've looked into on it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm a type 1 diabetic. I had a bad reaction to the first Moderna shot, so I rejected the second one.
So here's their study. It was 25,000 participants, 93% against severe COVID, overall efficacy 77%. Blah blah blah. Let's see. The vaccine conferred 65% against symptomatic infection with Delta. So there you go. At least 2 weeks after the second dose, a two doser, which is kind of interesting. Right. Yeah, it looks very much like it looks like a sort of a new and improved J&J. I wonder if anybody's seeing any of the same stuff we saw with J&J in terms of the clotting problems, that kind of thing.
I saw another study the results of a study they did with the after effects, and the worst thing I saw was like people having nausea and dizziness.
So this is why I love discourse about these phenomena. This is how you figure things out. You sit around and talk about it. You people hear things, find things, look things up. And already we've been talking for 5 minutes. I've found out about T-Detect and I found out about Covaxin. Not things which were really on my radar before. I'd heard the Covaxin. I'd heard out in the distance somewhere about an Indian vaccine, but I had not looked it up.
I wonder which one's going to be blackballed by YouTube.
Well, because we're on YouTube right now, so we can't talk about it. Wow.
Whoops, sorry about that.
Yeah, we can. They're vaccines. We're not anti-vaxxers. That's okay. And we're not saying things that they don't like. We're okay.
Wow.
But I'll stay away from the I and H words. I promise.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. That's really very, very helpful. And I will keep an eye on that. And this is
and Dr. Z.
And this is Prashant, right? Prashant, am I getting your name correct there? Prashant. Trying to get him up here. He may know something about Covaxin. It would be nice. Let's see. There we are. Prashant?
Hey, Dr. Drew.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm from India. Yes.
Tell us.
So, I have read report about the Covaxin. It's not approved mainly because trial number 3 wasn't done, right? And we took an emergency approval because of the number of Delta variants in India back in May. And I guess that was the only reason. But they are applying for final approval once the trial 3 is completed. Now, this was back in May. I'm not really sure, but it's been done or not.
Well, I'm looking at the headline. Let me read you the website, which is India's vaccine shows high efficacy against COVID-19 in phase 3 trial. So they must have closed the trial, and they're probably collecting the final data, and then they'll apply for. But that's just in India. They're applying for full approval, right?
Oh no, it's in the States as well.
Okay, great news. Great news. That's great. I mean, this is all good news. And so, thank you for that. And are you noticing? Do you know people that have had the vaccine? Anecdotally, does this look good?
It does looks good. One of my colleague, she has taken co-vaccine, but as per the recent data, right? So I believe Covishield is one of the major producer, mostly because of their facilities. They have a very big facility which provides vaccine. Throughout the world, right?
Mm.
So the recent data says that 90% and above is Covishield, whereas Covaxin have a smaller facility. So I believe 5 to 10% of the population is for people have taken co-vaccine. But yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, and especially if it's good against the variants, I mean, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, Laced Media. What can I do for you? Oh, and by the way, Susan, somebody's asking for Belinda.
Hi, sorry, I'm on my burner account because I have to host another room on my other account.
Okay,
but hello.
Fair enough. Hi there.
Hi, I was so excited to see you. I have maybe a bit of an odd question.
All right.
I had locks for a very long time, which is like dreadlocks, right? And they started to thin out, and my doctor thought I had alopecia. So what he did was he gave me that little, that little steroid injection that sometimes they give people in their head. And then I went to the dermatologist, and they was like, no, we don't think it's alopecia. But I had already had the steroid injection, and it gave a bit of atrophy to the scalp area. And I had a perfect round head, but now I have a bit of a dent. And it's been like 5 months.
And did it discolor also? It can depigment.
Yeah, it discolored all the way.
Wow.
With the dent. And now my perfect head is now a bit stony.
Oh.
So I'm just wondering, is it like that forever?
Like bumps coming out or a dent
going in?
It's a dent going in.
It's
like a little atrophy.
Yeah, it's not cool, right? That is not cool.
Oh, definitely not cool. Because I'm like, I thought about cutting it all off, which I
right.
No hair for heck long, but now it's like, okay, now I have a dent.
Oh my God.
It's stuck there forever. It sounds like.
Well, there are fillers for stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, a plastics. But I mean, here you go. You're getting all kinds of expense just because they did a steroid injection, and I'm not sure what they could do with the pigment, right? Ugh.
Oh, so it's possible that it's stuck there forever?
It's possible.
Talk to a plastic surgeon.
I would talk to a plastics person.
Or a dermatologist.
Well, the dermatologist is the one that gave her this mess.
A different one.
The regular doctor gave me the shot and then sent me to a dermatologist. The dermatologist said, no, that's not atrophy. Your hair's just thinning. Your locks are too long. I mean, no, it's not alopecia. Your hair's just thinning. Your locks are too long.
It was just pulling your hair out.
Right. And so when the doctor gave me the shot, though, he said, oh, you might see a little discoloration, but it'll be gone in 3 months. But it has now been 5 to 6 months, and it's still discolored and dented.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I would get back to a cosmetic dermatologist, because there is stuff they can do with the help with the pigment, but it's not great.
Yeah, I think the PRP works for that.
And
that brings pigment.
PRP does work. That's another. So platelet-rich plasma, but it's a little late in the game for that kind of stuff. And then, exactly what's atrophied there would be the other question. Did your muscle atrophy or what happened there?
It feels kind of collagen-y because when I touch right where it atrophies at, you can feel the skull. You can feel the little skull bone a little bit.
Yeah.
And around it, you can just feel kind of like where the collagen is between the skin and
it's what's called an aponeurosis.
Maybe she needs a CAT scan.
No, I mean, I just feel terrible because this is a medically induced thing.
Yeah, go to a good dermatologist.
And I think a good dermatologist, a cosmetic dermatologist, would be a start. But I think, that's an extraordinary story. I've heard of things like this happening, but not quite as sort of pronounced as this. And I unfortunately don't have any great answers for it.
Do you think that was the wrong step because he had no reason to give me the steroid injection? Is that not like a common thing that happens? Like, oh, you have a bald spot, I give you a steroid injection?
It is a common thing to do, but here's what I'm thinking, and I'm sort of ashamed of my peers. And I don't know what the ethnic background of that doctor was, but it's what is it?
Black. We're all black.
Okay, so I'm surprised. Well, I was going to say that's why it's important to have somebody from your ethnic background who thinks about these things. Like shaving your head is a distinct option from a style standpoint that somebody not from your culture might not think about, right? And might just go ahead and just give you the injection. Her hair, it's under her hair. It's not going to bother her. But the fact that was this a he or a she?
It was a he.
The
And he's
fact
really old, so he probably never thought about shaving your head.
Right. That's the thing that's the problem. He didn't tune into what your experience was and didn't think about that as a possibility of what you might choose to do. Didn't ask you about it, and did a procedure that is common. It's a very common procedure for loss of hair. And if there's anything, I mean, I'm sure what he saw looked like alopecia, so it wasn't like he was in outer space, but he didn't think it all the way through, and that's what I don't like about this. So I'm sorry.
Okay. So it sounds like plastic surgeon. But I think you
No,
guys said
probably a dermatologist.
A cosmetic dermatologist, really good cosmetic dermatologist.
Somebody who does injections.
Somebody does injections and PRP and that kind of stuff should have some real ideas.
Or maybe they can laser.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, let me know how it goes. That's.
I love the PRP.
I hate it when my peers don't tune in to what's going on. They miss just some couple of questions. Just
the hair
do you want to keep
really
your dreadlocks?
Difficult though.
What?
The hair is really difficult though to treat. Like I'm afraid to go have it done.
Have what?
Have
done?
somebody look at my hair and screw around on my head with needles and stuff. I'll do it on my face.
Did you get that lotion that I ordered for you?
Oh, they said they don't make it anymore.
Oh.
You're an old doctor that doesn't know.
Well, no. Now you can get it over the counter and stuff through these organizations.
We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it right now.
All right.
I'm gonna live. My hair's thin. It's not falling out, and I don't have the hole in my head, so that's the good news.
Yeah, exactly. Charles, let's get Charles up here. Charles, what's going on? Hi, Charles.
Good. What do you call a really short psychic who has escaped from prison?
Let's see. Escape from
a really short psychic.
Okay, hold on.
Escape from prison.
Hold on. And is the whatever you're going to use for short going to be offensive?
No.
Okay. I can't figure it out. What is it?
A small, medium, at large.
Oh, there we go. Well done.
Okay.
All right, man.
I'm going to remember that one
Thank
for
you for
my
making
show.
our day. Small, medium, at large. Okay, let me quickly look at what's going on the Restream thread here. I've been woefully sort of not paying attention to you guys. I apologize for that. Hair loss with Effexor. Yep. The antidepressants. Wellbutrin is the one that classically does that. Emergency authorization still for the other two vaccines when there's one that the FDA approved. Why are there emergency IUAs? I don't quite get that question. Sorry, I'm scrolling up, guys. Episode of atrial fibrillation lasting for 10 hours. Under control with medication. Early 40s. Should I be super worried about sudden death? No, do not worry about that. What you got to worry about is that the AFib comes back and then causes a clot that gets thrown to your head and causes a stroke, which is why you must take anticoagulation, or you should take anticoagulation. If you don't want to take anticoagulation, you have to have something called a EP study, a electrophysiology study, so they can localize where the atrial fib's coming from and burn it out. And so you don't have to take the anticoagulants anymore, if you want to do that, or else just stay on an anticoagulant and some antiarrhythmics. And possibly you could come off if you stay in sinus rhythm on the antiarrhythmics. So there you go. Hair loss, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, you guys. How many cows can I fit in the car comfortably? With Chris wants to ask. I think it's just one. I posted a picture on Locals of a calf in the back of a car, which was extraordinary. All right, Susan, it's been...
The pet calf going to the doctor probably or something.
No, that calf was going to McDonald's.
It was?
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Anthony's asking, why are they still approved for EUA when the one is FDA approved? That's sort of the way it works. Things are given EUA until they're approved. The EUA... it's not like they take the EUA away. I've not seen them do that when another one is approved. I don't see them doing that.
Somebody
says I got sued for taking bribes. No, that never happened.
Okay, so Twachi from Twitch said,
Yeah.
Dr. Drew, what would you name a new COVID vaccine if you were asked to name one? Just curious.
I'd have to study. We have to get something persuasive that sounded less scary, so people would be persuaded to take it. You know what I mean?
I'd call it Rex.
I'd call it influenza vaccine or something. You know what I mean? That people are used to
the Rex.
seeing.
After my dog.
All right. Happy, fun vax. Somebody says.
Yeah, we didn't get sued for taking bribes.
All right.
That's hysterical.
All right.
I saw a goat in the back of a Mercedes at Ralph's.
So shall we wrap things up, Susan?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Oh, smart Trump fan. That was not a bribe. I was hired by a drug company in 1997 to give lectures about the side effects so people wouldn't take antidepressants. It was actually a campaign with 4 doctors to go around and educate people about the side effects of antidepressants.
And one of them got in a big lawsuit.
No, that company, 20 years later, got sued. Got into a problem with the federal government for pushing off-label use of their inhalers. And there was an interview where I talked about what I do in my practice with antidepressant medicines to avoid these sexual side effects. This was back in the day. This was 1997. Nobody was admitting that antidepressants were causing side effects, and I was seeing it all the time. And so I was very anxious to go out on the road and do that, and I got paid to go do that.
Pretty well in those days for us, but
yeah,
it wasn't
and I
that
wouldn't,
much.
and I wouldn't. Well, I wasn't paid as well as the other doctors, by the way.
No. And we traveled all over the country.
I know,
for
but
a
anyway,
year.
that I would not today. That was it was a whole other
Talking to
era ago
depressed
when physicians and drug companies worked together on things like that. Now
Yeah,
I
but
would not do that.
They don't. No, you have to disclose it that they're your sponsor.
Well, so hold on. So what happened back then was I talked about what I do in my practice with antidepressants. Is they asked me, what do you do if you get sexual side effects? I said, well, I either add Wellbutrin, I switch to Sarazone, Wellbutrin, or Remeron. And then I didn't say, and oh, by the way, one of those drugs I'm on the road for. And so the government federal attorneys took that as evidence that the drug company was pushing off-label use. I'm entitled to talk about off-label use. That was like the ivermectin conversation before ivermectin.
But you just mentioned it one time on the radio.
Yes. But that was
which
the whole.
you did every night.
That was not a
5 nights
suit,
week.
and that was not anything. I was mentioned as evidence in a big case.
Yeah, you got it.
So there you go.
And
that
then
was,
the news caught
how
wind
long
of
was
it.
19? How long ago was 1997?
It was fake news. Let's just put it that way.
2007. So it was 25 years ago.
But it was fake news, and it was like a big deal because, and then whatever, we didn't know what to do.
No, but again, because it was back before people understood what fake news was. They didn't look. Somebody just here said you took a bribe. I did not take a bribe. I was. People didn't even know what had happened. I was entitled to say what I said. What I said was completely above board.
You had a contract.
But Susan, you're gonna let me speak about this. What I said was completely above board.
I know.
And somebody took it as evidence of something else, which it was not. It was my fault for not saying immediately, no, by the way, I'm working for this company. One of those medicines, not Sarazone, not Remeron. Oh, Wellbutrin, that one. So there you go.
I was taking Wellbutrin.
Because
I was depressed.
Yeah. Well, Wellbutrin did not cause the sexual side effects, and that's why your psychiatrist chose.
Well, you didn't
that
want
one.
me to lose my libido.
Right.
It worked.
Bloom
It
is
was
saying,
fine.
ugh, I stopped Zoloft because of that. Right. And back then, I got to tell you, right, it's the old Dr. Drew pushes drugs routine. Thank you for that, Tom Cigarette. But back in the day, these drug companies were not admitting that it was causing those side effects. And I was seeing it destroy relationships.
I think I was supposed to do this.
There you go. The strike's back. And I'm seeing which camera you're going back to. There we go. And so at the time, I was really anxious to go do it. It was a great campaign. I was actually very proud of the campaign for 20 years.
He used to go to these big auditoriums
anyway,
and talk to depressed people, and it was so depressing.
So anyway, I'm going to go.
They were so sad. But you helped a lot of people.
I'm going to end the clubhouse. Thank you guys for having been here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for that. And the people here on Bloom
I think we've lived like 9 lives, Drew. I mean, that was like 8 lives ago.
I know.
We only have
it was a quarter of a century ago.
We only have one more to
Susan,
go.
Quarter of a century ago.
I know.
25 years ago. And things have changed, and we do things differently. But there was no way back then to get the information sort of set straight. There was just no way to do it.
No.
Once the print press decided they were going a certain way, there was no social media. There was no way to talk to anybody. So
no, people were just out for blood.
Stacy Eust asked, "Do I still praise Jamie Spears for sacrificing so much for his daughter?" No, I think she deserves a chance to get out of it. And I think that he has done an amazing job thus far. And what I said was, I have told many a parent to take conservatorship over their kids, and they've refused it out of fear of disturbing the relationship, and those kids are dead. And Britney Spears would have done very poorly because it's clear that something very, very severe was going on. And now she wants to try off it. So, all right, let's try off it. I'm fine with that.
Tom Cigars, let's have a new show, Troll Dr. Drew.
Could be interesting.
See who could troll you the worst. Tom will be your co-host.
That could be funny. I'm looking at other things.
Somebody was asking why they don't see all these posts on their particular platform. It's because we're on 3 or 4 platforms. So the Restream brings it all together and then it pushes out to each platform. So what you see on the screen is all the other platforms. So if you want to go over and visit YouTube when we're not doing something that's going to get censored, you can go over there. We're also available on Rumble now, and we'll be doing the Ask Dr. Drew shows there because Caleb has the capability of getting it up there. They're not on Restream yet. They probably are. I'm too lazy.
People are asking me to interview Artie Lang, which I'd be happy. I know Artie very well. I'd be happy to do that. That's funny, was Chris.
No one else would take conservatorship over my kids.
Because they're insane. It's pretty funny. And I like all the stuff you're saying here. It's very funny. Some of the things you guys are saying.
What's your favorite cologne, Drew? Which one are you using now?
Which what?
Cologne.
Vera Wang. Vera Wang. Josh Potter, Casey Gates is going to, I asked him to be on. We're going to try to get him over here. I also may have him on After Dark very shortly. So keep an eye out for that.
We're leaving town. So.
Yes, we're going to be gone for a while. We're going to finish out this week on Thursday. Today's Tuesday, right? On Thursday. And then what's coming up tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Dave Asprey. Oh, I didn't put the thing up, the banner. But we have Dave Asprey tomorrow on Ask Dr. Drew. He's biohacking people, kind of like Gary Brackett was. And he's going to tell us about our health. And that'll be on all platforms. We won't have to censor that. And then on Thursday we have a guy who is a journalist, and we're going to talk, and also a previous guest. Oh, God, I can't think of that name. Adam Housley. We're going to talk about journalism and tragic events and how the PTSD affects them as journalists, and their new podcast coming up. And then also we're going to slip in some politics and media and Afghanistan at the end. We're going to bring in
is Housley a Fox guy? I don't know if Housley is so much a Fox
guy. He was.
Was he?
I think he was for him.
Okay. He's just an interesting interviewer. He's got a lot of interesting ideas. It's Tamara Mowry's husband. That's right.
We're going to dedicate it to 9/11 and talk about whatever's going on in the world before we leave to another part of the world.
And then we're going to leave and travel and going to weddings in Denver, and we were going to be gone for a couple of weeks. Will we do stuff from New York when we're there?
You're doing a lot of book tour stuff, so we probably won't be back until like the Friday when we get back, or Saturday and Sunday, because you guys have to go out and peddle our book.
Okay.
So it will be. We'll probably do an Ask Dr. Drew, and we'll be back though eventually.
All right. Is a bipolar?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we won't get there. We're not sure.
Is a bipolar question: is lithium good for cutting down hypomania? Yes, it is. Have had bad luck with Lamictal and. I'm not sure what the other medicine is. Looking for something less zombifying. I bet your other medicine was Depakote. Lamictal's great. You can really adjust the dose on Lamictal. It's a broad therapeutic dose. Lithium is good, and is not a sedating. Shouldn't be a sedating for you. It shouldn't be. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you all for being here. Tomorrow, what time are we here?
We're going to be here tomorrow.
Casey Gates, yes. Josh does have the hole in his back. That's one of the reasons I want to see him again. I'm going to give him some shit about that.
I wish I didn't have time to put I was trying to put the banners up, but
it says 3 o'clock for me. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think it's 3.
Okay, 3 o'clock tomorrow.
3 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to talk about our health.
All right.
Dave Asprey. He's a big one.
He's a big guest.
Wait, it says Ask Dr. Oh, you're, okay. All right. Yes. 3 o'clock.
Okay.
See you then.
Excellent. See you then.
Uh-oh.
That
didn't work.
Well, we're back again.
Whoops.
No, this is merely Drew comes back. This isn't strikes back. So what happened there?
I don't know. I was putting a video on it. Wait.
Whether it's sexual use or the wife is used or whoever, it doesn't matter to him. It's all about him. And that's problematic. This is different. This guy may not be a sociopath. He may just be a creep. But he certainly doesn't mind exploiting women, and that's gross. That's creepy. So here we go.
Make daddy squirt.
No, I don't want to.
I want to give a shout out to our good friends at Blue Mics. If you've heard my voice on this show anytime over the past year, including right now, you've been listening to Blue microphones. And let me tell you, after more than 30 years in broadcasting, I don't think I have ever sounded better. But you don't need to be a pro or have a fancy studio to benefit from a quality mic. You may not realize it, but if you've been working from home or using Zoom to chat with friends, you probably spend a lot of time in front of a microphone. So why not sound your best? Whether you're doing video conferencing, podcasting, recording music, or hosting a talk show, Blue has you covered. From the USB series that plugs right into your computer to XLR professional mics like the Mouse or the Blueberry we use in the studio right now. Bottom line, there's a Blue microphone to fit your budget and need. I can't say enough about Blue mics, and once you try one, you will never go back. Trust me. To take your audio to the next level, go to drdrew.com/blue. That is drdrew.com/BLUE.
All of that, I mean, I don't know anything about it except what he just said, but that all sounded like some red-ass flags with him saying she thinks she's bi, and then she thinks she's been lesbian her whole life. That ain't bi. And then
that's bye-bye to heterosexual.
Yeah, that's bye-bye, exactly.
That's what that is.
This dose of Dr. Drew is produced by Susan Pinsky, and a reminder, the discussions here are not a substitute for medical care, diagnosis, or treatment. The show is intended for educational and informational purposes only. I am a licensed physician, but I am not a replacement for your physician, nor am I practicing medicine here. Always remember that our understanding of medicine and science is constantly evolving. Though my opinion is based on the information that is available to me today, some of the contents of this show could be outdated in the future. Be sure to check with trusted resources in case any of the information has been updated since this was published. If you or someone you know is in imminent danger, don't call me, call 911. If you're feeling hopeless or suicidal, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255 anytime 24/7. You can find more of my recommended organizations and helpful resources at drdrew.com/help.